Good evening. It's my pleasure to chat with you for a few minutes about the updates to our digital learning plan for students at the elementary level and then also at the middle school and high school. While the district had a framework of expectations in place at the shutdown in March, once Governor Cuomo shared that we were not coming back in this school year, all school districts were asked to go back to their original digital learning plan and update it with any new information. What you see on the slide in front of you is a summary of grade level conversations that I held, including principals at the elementary level, where we discussed together what expectations would be appropriate for each grade, considering the age and the abilities of those students. Additionally, I met with special area teachers, AIS and ENL staff, because their needs and their meetings with kids are a little different from classroom teacher needs. Our focus was mostly at the elementary teacher level around the types of groups that teachers would use most frequently, how often those groups should meet during the course of a week, and how long should those meetings actually last. Knowing that elementary kids very often would need the support of an adult at home to get through some of the learning expectations. Additionally, Joe shared an email a few days ago with the elementary division that established a minimum of 2 meets live for instruction per week. Most of our teachers were already meeting these standards. And indeed, many of them are meeting with students, as it says on the slide, just for social and emotional purposes, as a check-in to make sure that everything's going okay and that kids are feeling okay about the situation that they're in. Often it also gives the kids a chance to connect with friends that they see on the Google Meet. The last bullet on the slide, again, refers to the fact that some of our special area AIS, ENL teachers see their students in different formats, sometimes larger, sometimes smaller, and on occasion, an ENL teacher may actually work inside a classroom teacher's Google site to support the learning in a content area. Let's take a look at what the changes look like for secondary staff. So this is the slide for secondary staff at the middle and the high school. Again, the emphasis here was on the opportunity for students to have FaceTime with their teachers, and by way of that, also see their peers. Once again, Joe shared an email with the secondary staff to require a minimum of 2 live sessions per week. Most secondary teachers, like their elementary colleagues, are also scheduling separate meets with students, again, to chat, to connect, to meet the needs of kids that are emotionally stressed. At the middle school and the high school levels, we see an increase of the use of videos for instruction. Some of these are commercially acquired. Many are from the publishers of our normal curriculum materials, and some are made by our own teachers. Most teachers are providing their own voiceover to further illustrate new and important learning that's captured within the video. Additionally, grading policies have been developed by teacher and administrative teams to follow the do no harm intent. Students in this time can only improve upon their pre-March performance. Also, students are granted additionally a generous makeup period where they can improve the work that they had previously submitted. At the high school level, and for the important transcript purposes, our students will have the option of choosing a final grade that is numerical based upon a formula developed by those teams, or pass-fail. At this point in time, we're not sure what September looks like, and so we don't know whether our current digital plan that was referenced on these 2 slides will require any updating as we move through the next few weeks. If we are asked to update, once again, we will go back to staff and administrators to work collaboratively to develop the changes that might be necessary to address the fall semester. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. This is Laura Nyer, Executive Director of Educational Support Services, and I wanted to spend a little time talking about the instructional technology and how we've supported our students and staff over the past couple months. We've been able to hand out over 800 devices. This comprised of Apple iPads, Chromebooks, and laptops, though the majority of this was Chromebooks to students. We had 4 major pickup days, which occurred in March and April, with the coordination of building principals, security, and staff. Additionally, we've made available device swaps if there was technology issues with a device, and we continue to do this on an individual basis. As we plan for 2021 and the unknown future, we are looking to ensure that all students have devices one-to-one K through 12. One of the important things was, though a student may have a Chromebook, we needed to ensure that all students had internet access at home. So information regarding free internet access has been shared via email, audio updates from the superintendent, and have been posted on the district website. Additionally, staff have been given this information so they too can share with families. The following service providers have offered free connection if needed. Altice, Comcast, Spectrum, and AT&T have been great partners in this time. Additionally, we've been working with the public library to obtain select hotspots for those in need. With all of this technology and ensuring that people have internet access, it's also important that people have support if needed. Traditionally, our staff use a help desk with our EduTech team, which they still have access to on a daily basis. However, we wanted to ensure that students and families also had this help. So we created an email address as well as a Google form for parents and students to complete. This puts them in direct connection with an EduTech engineer so they can walk through any potential problems they may be having. Student and parent guides regarding Google, such as Google Classroom, have also been posted on the district website. But however, teachers are taking a real lead on this and instructing and supporting their students and families on the tech tools that best support their students' learning and in their classrooms. And additionally, we've been able to offer tech support in up to 8 languages with the support of EduTech. How we communicate in this uncertain time has been a real priority. And while reviewing all of the options available, we as a district decided that Google Meet would be the best source of communication between adults and students. Google Meet is supported for all use within the district. It allows for easy integration with Google Classroom and Google Calendar. Staff and students usually use Google Meet for counseling, large and small group instruction, grade level meetings, department level meetings, and administrative meetings, and more. Most importantly, Google Meet follows EdLaw 2D guidelines and is currently free as part of our G Suite for Education. In addition, we needed to add some additional resources to support our staff in these uncertain times. While many teachers have already been trained in Google Suite and it's been supported over the years, there's much more that needed to be supported. We created an internal technology website specifically for staff. This has been updated almost daily. It consists of tutorials and webinars of supported applications and tools. Our wonderful tech coaches have been supporting colleagues with one-on-one assistance and creating on-the-spot tutorials, which can often be found in our internal instructional technology website. And additionally, again, the help desk is on call every single day, working one-on-one with teachers as needed. Here's an example of the homepage of the technology website that we provided for staff. As you can see, there are many resources, down from Google resources, interactive tools, student applications, recording tools, tutorials, and additional resources as needed. As we zoom in a little bit, you can see that just under Google itself, there are many resources that teachers are learning and using with their students. Google Meet for communication, Google Classroom to organize assignments and also communicate, Google Sites, Google Calendar, Google Forms, slides, and more. We have some interactive tools that have been used, such as Edpuzzle, Pear Deck, Kami, Seesaw, Google Jamboard, and Flipgrid. Some of the applications that already were in place have worked with us to extend their licenses to ensure that more students and more staff had access. These applications include, but are not limited to, Dreambox, iReady, Learning A to Z, BrainPop, Turnitin, Newsela, and Smart. This is an example of some of the tutorials that we provided and resources. So this is a site specifically just on Seesaw, which is a tool that teachers can use to be interactive with their students. So we have a YouTube video that's been created by one of our tech coaches, Megan Boyle. We have some resources that another teacher has shared with us that she found was helpful. And in addition, we have activities that teachers can use and share with parents and for themselves on how to create a Seesaw activity. Here's another page where a plethora of information has been provided for Google Meet. Teachers needed to figure out how to control Google Meet, make sure that they were using it securely and safely. How do we make a phone call with Google Meet if we don't have video? How do we add Google extensions such as Google Nod or Google Grid? How do you use your phone if you want to record using Google Meet? So some of these are examples that you can see are created by myself and or tech coaches or vetted online resources. As I said earlier, some of the tools that are being used are Google Classroom and the G Suite for Education, in addition to Kami, Flipgrid, Seesaw, Edpuzzle, Screencastify, and Screencast-O-Matic to do recordings, Google Jamboard, and of course our already used tools such as iReady, BrainPop, Newsela, Dreambox, and more. Training for staff has been really important. Though we have a lot of teachers who are experts in this area and have completed the Google certifications of level 1 and level 2, we have many teachers who were used to using a traditional classroom and needed a little bit more support in the virtual platform. We had tech coaches volunteer throughout the day to do 30-minute sessions on one specific area that they would be an expert on. This is an example of a schedule that was created for Monday, May 11th, where teachers could sign up unlimited to any one of these resources. Each session lasted 30 minutes and really provided an overview for tools that teachers can then learn even more about. Throughout the day, EduTech was also available for live help. And at the end of the day, additionally, Dr. Roller and myself made ourselves available to staff to ask and answer any questions. Additionally, I continue to update the internal website with calendar events so that teachers can access additional trainings as they see fit. This is just an example of a few days of training that are being offered in support with Lyric, NYSCATE, NY10, Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES, and our own internal sessions. We've been able to provide resources for many staff on the areas that they feel like they need support with. And more importantly than anything, we wanted to make sure we were keeping our staff spirits up and sharing with the great work that everyone is doing. Here is an example of a student and staff photo page. Some of these images might look familiar as we use some of them on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. But we have examples from the art show, videos that teachers have provided. Sometimes it's just basic photos of teachers and what they're doing during the day. This was created to create a support system for our staff so they can feel connected to one another during these uncertain times. Finally, when it comes to digital transformation in this sort of environment, we're very grateful that over the past year and a half, we've made some transitions already. We've moved ourselves to professional growth using Frontline for teacher evaluations, professional development, course catalogs, and graduate courses. This allows teachers to do everything virtually while they try to support their students. Additionally, we moved to Frontline RTI in addition to Frontline IEP Direct for student support in AIS. Frontline Central is currently being rolled out now, which will allow all district staff to complete forms digitally, things such as I-9, flexible spending, change of address, when we want to onboard or offboard staff. This removes the need for paper personnel files and allows for conducting this business remotely. As we continue to provide support for our students and our teachers this school year, we have to start planning for what the 2021 school year looks like. We need to ensure that students have equitable access to internet and devices. We need to ensure that staff have the necessary training to support their transition from in-person teaching to virtual teaching. We hope to spend some more time in June and this summer preparing teachers for this new landscape. We have to ensure that we meet the expectations of Ed Law 2D Part 21. And we need to ensure that the district is secure. We need to meet the standards of the NIST cybersecurity framework. In this challenging time, I have been utmost impressed by our teachers, our staff, and all that are working to ensure that our students have the most equitable and valuable education via technology. Thank you.
This is Lisa Strookman, Executive Director of PPS. On March 18th, our teachers began the virtual learning. Teachers continued to implement the IEP to the best of their ability. They had daily live meets in small groups and individual settings. Some teachers on an ICT model began working alongside of their general education teachers during their Google Meets. Teaching assistants for special education were also brought into the mix, in which they could provide some lessons and support for all students. Teaching assistants were doing small group reading, small group math, small group tutoring, depending on what the student needed. School counselors continue to be the cog in the wheel for teachers and everyone involved. Our elementary counselor continued to make contact with all of our families. She's continued to make a website for anybody that needs to go to it for distance learning, a mindful club to support our staff, as well as working on the transition from 5th to 6th, which is a huge milestone for some students to go into the middle school. She has worked alongside as the middle school counselors to create a Google Classroom for students to be able to chat with one another, to chat with the school counselor at the middle school. In the middle school, they continue to check on students, attend team meetings, create to-do lists on how to help children to be organized at home so they can complete their assignments within a timely manner. The high school are continuing working with our seniors, making sure their college information is up to date and ready to go, working with the juniors and making sure that they're ready for the next steps of their application, and continuing to work with all of our students in order to support them. They work collaboratively with our mental health team to ensure that students are being seen and met if red flags do occur. Our mental health team is a very important team as well. They continue to work and counsel with the students as mandates, but also building level. School counselors do bring to the attention of our mental health teams if there are students that we should be reaching out to outside of our daily contact. Small group instruction is happening, one-to-one instruction is happening, as well as our DBT groups in the middle school and high school. Related services are happening virtually as well. Parents are given the option of small group, individual based on their IP, but also a pen and paper task. Some of our therapists are doing videos, sending videos home, as well as having students send videos back to show how they're implementing the skills that they're learning. They do live sessions. They do live sessions with other therapists and classroom teachers that really make it a social event for our students. Our school nurses continue to work as well. They're getting our offices ready for the fall, prepping for anything that we may need, making sure that they are getting immunizations up to date, making sure that physicals are up to date. So you might possibly get a phone call from them of a need for your child for next year.